It is Blunder Packs. We're at 859. Let's find some common mistakes happened at the 800 level. All right, let's put a pawn in the center because we can. Controlling space and see what my opponent plays. F5. Whoa. All right. I mean, I think we just take it. They're gonna play knight here. I'm just gonna take the pawn. I mean, it's a free pawn. Let's just take it. Put the pieces in the center of the board. I don't know, man. Now they have to play this, otherwise they're just like getting obliterated by check here. Now g6 is needed, and then we take it. Now they have to play knight here. Okay, instead they decide to get checkmated in one move. Now, a lot of people might think, oh, let's take the rook, but yeah, we have a checkmate. Oh, jeez. All right, this is why it's dangerous to push the f-pawn. So, yeah, you really have to play this, and then we go d4, take control of the whole center, and just don't play f5 on the first move. And I'm pretty sure that this is like a famous blunder too, like fg, just bishop d3 attacking this, trying to checkmate here. They have to play king here, rook h6, like. All right. Honestly, I did not expect to see this. And yeah, mate in one. Beautiful. Let's find another person. We got the white pieces again. We're going to put a pawn in the center. Hopefully this time my opponent doesn't play f5. They don't. They play the Pyrrhic. All right, so you've studied all these lines. When they play e5, when they played c6, when they play the Scandinavian. But what do you do when they play stuff like d6, the Pyrrhic? Well, let's just play off of opening principles. If you can put two pawns in the center, it's probably a good move. Let's do it. And now they're playing c6. No problem. We got really good central control. We can just develop a knight. We could have maybe potentially tried to play for f4 ideas, but let's just keep it simple. Develop our knights, bishops, castles. Okay, what does this do? It pins my knight to my queen. It does open up tactical ideas here. I could play bishop to c4, but then push, takes, and the bishop is a little bit awkward here. So we don't really want to allow that. If they can push through with tempo, it's probably not the greatest move. Maybe we play c4, just taking even more control of the center. They aren't attacking this pawn, so we don't have to worry about takes. You know, I like taking more control of the center here. Look at this. We control 5 of these central squares. Now they're probably going to play something like this, and I'll probably just push through. You gotta be careful with moves like this, because they're threatening to take, but only after takes here. And if you take with the queen, then they would win the pawn. So you would have to take like this if you don't want to lose the pawn. All right, they're attacking my pawn. I could push, takes here, but then queens are coming off. I don't want that. Let's just develop and protect. Develop, protect. Look at this. Controlling the center, developing. We're going to get the bishop out, and we're going to castle. Knight d7. What does it do? It's maybe going here to attack this pawn. If it does, I'm not really too worried. Let's just keep developing. Let's break this pin now. And we're just looking to castle. I mean, they're going to have to strike in the center at some moment. I don't really know when. On cue. So if I take, they can take like this. I could take. If I take here, they can take here. It's leaving my pawn wall kind of not very nice. So I don't really want to take. Now, we mentioned earlier that taking is possible if they take here, but now it's not, because the queen wouldn't be taking. However, I really want to keep my pawns intact, so I'm thinking of pushing. And if they were to take, I just take, and we keep our pawns intact. This bishop's kind of locked in, so I'm going to push through. As long as we make sure that we're not blundering this pawn, should be okay. And if they lock it down, big deal. Yeah, so they do take. Now, I want to take with the pawn, I believe. I could have took with the knight and try to get more trades, but why do that? And now I think the idea is probably going to be like h6 back, try to trade this bishop off for this bishop, or it could castle. I need to make sure that they can't win this pawn. That is like the key. I think they want to reroute this way, and they're just stopping me from developing here as well. But first, let's just castle. No big deal. And we're probably going to play for an f4 break at some moment. I don't know when that moment will be, but it will probably be at some moment. Now, I don't think that's the greatest move, because I can go here, and now they're forced to give up that bishop. And where's the knight going? It's going here, but we can just take if we want to. We don't have to, but maybe we will. We can pre-move takes. Now this is under attack, so they have to deal with it. Ooh, oh man, that really sucks. They're trying to win the pawn, trying to, move forward. Unfortunately, you gotta ask yourself what my opponent is threatening, and yeah, I'm taking, and I'm taking. And I have one more attacker, so we can just take that knight. Unfortunately for my opponent, they will be dropping a piece here. And they capture. Now we will take back with the queen, of course. My opponent is playing very quickly now. They realize that they've lost a piece. Now they need to try and play very quick and flag me. It's not going to be the case. We have this check, and if they were to block, I just trade the queen. If they move the king up, then we're happy. And they do indeed move the king up. So, can I play this? They would take, I take, they take, I push, they take. Doesn't work. Now, I can just take this pawn as well. And then they have to go back. So, yeah, let's do this. And then they're going to go here, I'm going to go here. They're going to play back. And then maybe we just play something like this. Or bring the knight in. There's a gazillion moves here. Whoa. All right, never mind. They're going for a run. I mean, honestly, gangster move. Is there a sacrifice? I go here. They take. I sacrifice the bishop. They take. Rook f4. If they were to go back here, there's checkmates. I think we can just sacrifice everything. Here takes, bishop takes, pawn takes, rook takes. If they play here, we have a check. They go back, we get the other rook involved. I mean, this has to be the move. Yeah. We're going to go ahead and sacrifice the bishop here. Just really noticing this behind the king, and that is a checkmate. GG. Play with the 92, they play with the 67. Yeah, I mean, we're just taking space in the center of the board. Break the pin. We could protect, but I mean, yeah, maybe. I really like keeping the pawn wall, though. So that's why I wanted to push. Castles, and then, yeah, I mean, there's just no need here. And apparently we can sacrifice. What happens if they take? We take. This is hanging, so if they were to take here, we take here. Ah, I see. We just win a pawn. But okay, this is fine. And then, yeah, they needed to retreat, which is not pleasant, but it was the only move because they just failed to realize that we have two attackers. They only have one defender. And we go back, check, king up, takes. And this was a nice idea, I thought. Sacrificing the bishop. I was robbed of a brilliant move here. Come on. Give me my brilliant. They cannot capture. I mean, they have to move. And then we just back up. Check. And yeah, I thought that they should probably come forward. Queen takes is the move. I was looking at check. If they go here, then we have checkmate. And if they go here, I was just going to bring the other pieces in. I guess then they can go to the center of the board. It's kind of annoying. 92 taking away the square, threatening mates. They have to play queen g5, which is just a full queen. The point is that this is checkmate in one. So, anyways, good game to my opponent. On to the next. We have the black pieces this time. And let's play e4, e5. We got knight f3. I'm gonna go knight c6, just protecting. And it looks like they want a fianchetto. Okay. So they want to put more pressure on this pawn. I think I'm just gonna protect. Open up this bishop and just play bishop here. Okay, it looks like they kind of want to go for some kind of fried liver attack. If I go here, they're just a tempo up. They have this extra move. Does that actually help them? Because the fried liver, you play d5. I could also just go after the bishop immediately. We definitely don't want to go here. And if I go here, there's a tactic takes here. So we also don't want to go for that. Knight here, push, takes, knight here. I mean, usually they go back this way. I'm gonna still play for this. I think it's actually decent. Okay, instead they blunder this pawn, but is it an actual blunder? Yeah, because they can't even go here. But takes here, takes, push. Okay. Yeah, I think we can just take the pawn. And then we're threatening to go here, maybe. Okay, they do that first. Is there any sacrifice? I don't think so. Here, knight here. Just push. Okay, they're not going for the fried liver attack, which is kind of nice for me. I think I just developed the bishop and then castle. I think that makes the most sense. Yeah, let's go ahead and castle. Got a nice fianchettoed bishop. Where are they rerouting to? I don't really understand this move at all. I guess they want to go here. We got to be careful with moves like this. I could also push in the center. And then they have to go here. What if I play here and threaten to trap the bishop? Let's actually do that. Let's threaten to trap the bishop. Okay, they're making room, but I can still go here. And if they take, I just take back. And if they slide back, I have a fork. Ooh. Okay, let's push. They can take. Okay, does that capture chain work? No. They instead do that. Now let's fork them. Also, their bishop is just horrendous behind this pawn. My opponent probably should have used a little bit more time here. They've only used a minute and they've already got forked. Get forked. Okay, they're desperadoing. Can I take here? If they take here, I just take. And then they have to ruin their pawn structure. But are we really wanting them to do this? I don't know. Where does this knight go? It's going to go here. I guess the bishop on this diagonal could be very strong. Hard choice, my friend. I think I'm going to take this. If they take here, I can take the knight. Oh, if they try to desperado again, I can take the knight, attacking the queen. So if they were to take the rook, we take the queen. Ooh, that's a very nice throw-in. Okay, they play bishop back, but now we just take the piece. No problem. And we're setting up something very nasty. If the queen takes, we have a check, followed by rook e8. Yeah, and my opponent misses that. So we're going to go ahead and give a check. If they play this, rook e8 wins the queen. I can even desperado here, which I probably should. Just takes, bishop takes, and then rook e8. Yeah, let's get rid of the bishop since we're going to lose it anyways, and it comes with a check. And now we win the queen. They should have blocked with the bishop. They can take here if they want, but they really shouldn't trade as many pieces off if they don't have to. All right, so they are indeed doing that. But now I can just take first with check and then capture here. And yeah, we're up a ton of material. They go there. It's no problem. I guess let's just hop the knight in. Let's attack the bishop. And then maybe we just go check and see where the king goes somewhere. And then maybe we just get the queen involved. Ooh. Yeah, that doesn't seem too right. Get the queen involved here. They step onto that diagonal. But now we have a check here. And since the king is cut off this way with the bishop, this is checkmate in one move. GG. Let's take a look. 87, 68. Yeah, they just give us a free pawn. Apparently, here, white is better if they go for this. And I was going to go d5 here, bishop here. I guess the bishop's protected. They can just castle, I take, they take. Yeah, this seems actually pretty pleasant for white, I must say. And then bishop e4. Bishop b4, dummy. What? Why would you play bishop d4? Can they not just do this? Anyways, yeah, we take, just go back. We got a solid center, just castle. And yeah, we tricked them here with a6, trying to trap the bishop. Apparently this is a mistake. We should, oh, we tempo the knight first, knight moves, then we go here. Bishop's trapped. I see. What was the resource here? After this, They can take, I take, take. My pawn structure is a little bit worse. Hmm. Well, I guess it's kind of similar, but they just get the piece. But instead they go back, make it easy, and we have this intermezzo. Takes. Yeah, and it's just GG's. Let's see if we can get to 900. We got the white pieces. Let's go e4. They play e5. We're going to show you a Vienna, and they play knight c6. Let's hope that they play bishop to c5. This is a very, very, very fun opening as the white pieces, and they do. So opening principles tell you don't bring your queen out early. However, if you've studied positions and you know lines that involve bringing out the queen early, then it's allowed. It's okay. And in this position, queen to g4 is the move. We attack this. And we're saying, okay, you brought the bishop out. What are you doing? All right, g6. Now, it's very, very important in this position that you do not blunder this tactic. d5 attacks the bishop and the queen at the same time, so we have to move our queen. I can go here, threatening checkmate again. Well, not again. I can threaten checkmate. And now the only thing that we need to be weary of is this move here, which we can stop by playing knight here. If they play queen here, we're going to go back with the knight. If we see this move, I believe the move is to come... No. Now we play knight e2. If they jump in, we snap take. They push the pawn, they're opening up this. Do we want them to be able to play here? Probably not. I can jump in first. Here takes, and we're threatening mates, so that's okay. So knight here, if they were to play this, we take this. So we can play knight to d5. They'll probably, no, they won't castle because that would lose a piece. They capture. Now let's go ahead and threaten checkmate. Castles, and they don't have a dark squared bishop here protecting their king. And that's what we're going to play for. So we're going to go c3, stopping the knight from invading, and then plan to play for d3, opening up the bishop. They first attack my bishop. So if we let them take, they take. The knight's got to move. It's not a big deal. I don't think so. I'm going to play c3. They're going to take. And then the knight's got to move somewheres. And it's going to be kind of out of play. They don't have this. And when the knight moves, we're actually going to be playing for d4. But I think I'll castle first. Why not? Oh, knight back. Okay, can I go here? Just castles. But then I would have this. No, the knight can always move. Also, well, no. Here, castles. I go d4. They can take. I take. But then they take. Then they lose a bishop. Here, castles. d4. If pawn takes bishop here. Ah, but they always have this. They always have knight to f5. Defending mate. Ooh, that kind of sucks. So here takes here. I'm going to play that. We're going to play for the center, opening up our bishop. And then we're just going to castle. Takes. Pawn is attacking the bishop. And these pawns are actually doing... They're doubled, but they're actually doing a pretty good job. Okay, so if I play knight over... Probably not a bad idea. Yeah, let's just defend using the knight. And then we can castle. I was debating on just like king f1, but... Let's not do that. And if they take, they just help me reinforce the center. Knight jumps here. They're attacking the pawn. But if they actually take, we have a check. And the knight would, if the knight blocks, we just take. So first we're going to castle though, because if I were to go check, they could pin my queen. So let's castle. So if they take the pawn, it's actually a trap. They take there, which is weird. Take. Now the pawn is protected. But their dark squares are ultra weak, so they go there. Maybe I just go here, but then they're going to meet us with this. I'm tempted to go here. Honestly, I would say that black is the one with the edge here. Let's activate a rook on this file. Yeah, they got to move. It's fine. And if I go here, here. I don't love it. Here, here. Start to push the pawns, maybe. Let's do that. I want to be able to come in here with the bishop. Knight goes back. We always have this potentially. Potentially. Not always. That's a very good move. They're just taking control of the file. So if I go here, they're going to jump here. Here, But then I just slide up. Can they infiltrate? Maybe. It's fine. We're going to push the pawn. Knight here, here. We threaten a fork. No, they go back instead. That feels a little bit dangerous. Let's bring the bishop in. Now they have to do something about this. Otherwise, we have this move. And now that we've played g4, protects the square. So if they allow me to get this move in, they can't go here to defend the mate. And the only other square is here for the knight right now. And they miss it. So I just go here. There's no way for you to actually defend mate. They needed to see that this was a threat. They go here, I just take the queen. So like they can defend this way. Knight of 5, queen takes. They take, then I take the knight and we're up a piece. That is the only defense here. They have to sacrifice a piece. And they find it. So let's go ahead and trade. They don't have any intermezzos because I would just sacrifice or move. They go ahead and take, and now we're just up a piece. Take. I don't know what they're going to do. I can just take this pawn probably. They decide to take there, but we're going to take here. And if they allow us, we're going to push d5. We have a protected pass pawn that is 2 pawns away from promoting. So that's going to be very hard to deal with. And we just simply have an extra piece. Let's bring the rook into action. If I go here, they have takes, which would be a little bit unfortunate. So let's just try to double. No worries. Protect the bishop. We're also attacking a pawn. We don't want the pawn though. Like we could take, but I would much rather double the rooks. Yeah, that's not going to work out. We just come in with a check. And I mean, we could go here. They take, I take. Simplify everything down. Can also just push, threatening this. Did they have just rook here? I mean, then I would probably play something like this, I guess. Yeah. Anyways, this is just bad because I take, they take, I take, they take, and I promote. And there's nothing that they can do about it. They take, and I just have a queen, and they don't. Let's go ahead and capture the pawn. Give it check. And, simplest way is just to make another queen for sure. So let's just go ahead and do that. Make sure we don't stalemate. Push the pawn. Doesn't really do anything. Just move the queen. Queen cannot, or the king cannot come forward. So we're just going to push. Just keep pushing. This is actually just checkmate now. Yeah. GG. Let's take a look at the game. We're at 899, which means we have to play one more. My opponent played pretty well. 83, I played with a 92. And yeah, I mean, takes. C3, best move, takes, knight back, and then we strike in the center. Just block. King F1 was the best move, actually. Wow. I debated on it, but... Then castles, and the trick that I was talking about here is if they take, we have a check. They can't block because pawn takes. So they're just losing the pawn. If they go here, we just take. And in this position, this is hanging and this is luring. It's not a threat right now because we would be back rank mated. But instead, they just trade, take the open file, and yeah, we expand. Now, in this position, this is actually stronger because they can't push the pawn. So now we're just threatening to pile up all of the pressure. F6 is the best move to try and pin me. But yeah, instead we go for the checkmate. They really needed to push the pawn here. And if you take, you're losing. Knight takes F5. Attacks this. And our king is butt open. And in this position, we have a extra piece. And then we just convert. We don't really need to go through this. If you're in this position as black, don't trade all your pieces. Like, yeah, I mean, if you go here, it's just game over. We can do literally anything. We can take the pawn. We can move the rook over. Like, Everything is winning. We also have this check. We have to hit 900 this video. Let's play one more. And we're going to play e4. And we have a Scandinavian defense. Let's go ahead and take. My opponent is taking back. We're going to go ahead and play knight c3, tempoing the queen. And I've found a lot of beginners just go back. It's very interesting. Let's take the full center with d4. Because the main move is queen a4. What is that? Whoa. Okay, so they're pushing f5. Yeah, I mean, that can't be a good move. Just can't. But when we see moves like this, we look a little bit for our checks. We see check here, they just push. So, not really too big of a deal. Let's just develop our piece. Not get too crazy. King's a little bit exposed. If we get a knight here, that would be threatening checkmates. Not anymore because of this. They're really exposing their king though. And blocking in their bishop. Let's keep developing. Now, we could do this. Is an idea, but we're not going to bother. Develops. I could play here. If they take, I take. I'd be threatening check and here and takes. And then if takes, we can take the rook. But I think for the purpose of this series, we're just going to keep it simple and castle. It just can't be a bad move. And we can always tempo the queen. Cutting off some key squares. Knight here. I mean, there's a gazillion things that we can do in this position. We have a lead in development. They've pushed 2 pawns, traded off a pawn, moved their queen twice, and the bishop was on b4 doing absolutely nothing. Our position is much, much better. They trade off their only active piece. So let's go ahead and take. That was definitely a very bad decision. They're probably going to play knight here. No. Okay, never mind. They don't want that. My opponent's playing very interestingly. I guess we can just go tempo the queen. Okay. I'm going to tempo the queen. If they go here, we can sacrifice the bishop because after takes, we have rook e1. So let's do that. They might just develop as well. Should be a reasonable move. But they're creating a lot of holes around their king. And they're not castling this way. They probably want to castle this way. Queen comes up. Whoa. Whoa. Alright. Let's just play rook e1. Yeah, let's just go rook e1. Put more pressure. Takes, takes. We can just maybe do this. Or even threatening to push. But then they would maybe... No, they can't push. In all likelihood, we probably do have a sacrifice. Yeah, like... they're attacking my pawn. I can just play queen to d3. And I'm threatening this immediately. And I'm just activating all of my pieces. So let's go ahead and do that. Protect. Now they have to move the queen again. And once again, they have no development. That makes matters even worse. They attack the bishop thinking, okay, if I move around the piece, yeah, they're taking. But they forget that I can just take that. And now their queen is lost. And my opponent resigns. And we pass. 900 elo. Play with the 96. They play with the 68. Scandinavian. I mean, if I really don't recommend beginners play the Scandinavian at all. Just because, like, you're breaking so many principles. Like, bringing the queen out early if you go here. But then if you decide to play this, like, you just moved the queen twice to trade off a pawn. It just breaks all opening principles. So, I mean, I don't recommend it. Obviously, it's not a terrible opening, but I feel like it's building the wrong fundamentals in chess. And then immediately f5 is wrong. Play the best move. We just develop. We could go check. And if this is saying we can just go back and they're creating too many weaknesses. We're already threatening the pawn. And Stockfish is already saying let's sacrifice the pawn. If they protect, just knight f3. But I mean, just knight out, castles, and I was actually looking at stuff like this, trying to get this check in, but they just develop. stops this. So castles was the best move. Takes. We tempo the queen. Rook e1. We're not doing anything crazy here. We're literally just developing, and we're developing with tempo if we can, until my opponent just makes a huge mistake here, which in this position they're already lost. Even though material is equal, we just have so much development, and my opponent has spent so much time moving their queen and the pawns that the position just can't hold itself. Their king is in the center of the board with none of their pieces developed, so they're just going to get overrun. And this is why you need to play on principles. Control the center, develop your pieces, castle. And yeah, and like just do that and you'll get to this level easily. Like, we're not doing anything fancy here. Sometimes in these episodes we found some nice tactics, but most of the time we're not doing anything crazy. We're just developing and then letting the opponent make a mistake. And yeah, we're at 900 elo now. Next episode we'll try and reach 1000 and go from there. So if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to check out the description where there is a link to my school if you wish to learn chess from me. If not, I appreciate your support and watching the videos, of course. And I'll see you in the next one.